First, I'm going to go through the basic steps on setting up your lesson plan in Forethought. So you can see I'm already in Eduphoria. So we're going to go to Forethought. Now, if you are new to the district, yours is not going to come up with something already in it. Since I've been here and I've practiced in this demo account, I already have 6th grade math in there. But if you don't, yours is going to pop up with the steps I'm about to go through. So down to the, click off that, down on the bottom left-hand side, I'm going to go to change my settings, and I'm going to click on my schedule. So if you've been here before and you're wanting to clear out your planner from the year before, this is the way you would do it. So you would click on your schedule, and you could click remove schedule, edit schedule, or if you want to keep it, you could just add the next year's to it. I know a lot of people want to keep their lesson planner there because it's got a lot of really good information, and if you're teaching the same subject, you can copy and paste stuff over. So it'll look like I'm setting up something new, though. I'm going to go ahead and remove my schedule. So this is the steps it would take you through if you have no schedule in there. So your schedule is what you're going to call your whole day. This isn't specific to one class. So I would call mine either my name with the grade level. I would call it something that's going to stand for all of my classes together. And one thing about Eduphoria is the tools to go next and back are always at the bottom right, and I really do not like that because it's not convenient. So I'd click next. Now this is when you're going to add your individual classes. So if you are a middle school or high school teacher, you're going to add all, however many sections you'll have, 8, I think. If you're elementary school, you don't have as many unless you teach 2nd or below and you teach every subject. So I'm going to add a couple of entries. Typically, you're going to choose the top one, of course, with the learning standard, or if you teach something that you don't use Teks for or that we don't have Teks for, you could click a special entry, or a course that mirrors another course in my schedule is just if you were to teach 2 sections of 6th grade math and you wanted both sections in there because they're going to be fairly similar with just a little bit different. And that way, if it mirrors a class in your schedule, you could actually edit them individually if you wanted to change them. I'm going to pick a course with the learning standard. I'm going to drill down and find some Teks. We're going to pretend that I teach math at the middle school for 8th grade. Now, you can change this entry title. I might add to the first class or period 2, so I know what time of the day or which section that I teach it for. And then you can add in as many entries. I don't really think there's a limit here. You can add as many as you want to. So if you were to teach, which most middle school and high school teachers are going to teach more than one subject or more than one age group at least. So now you see it's building in my class. And one thing that I didn't take advantage of my first year is the move up or move down. This would drive me crazy all year long if class 2 was before class 1. So I would move my classes around so they're in order. So once you have all the classes that you need, you can click next. And everything is there that you want it to. You can click next and begin using Forethought. One thing that, here it goes. One thing that is something you should always pay attention to, which it took me a couple of years to figure out, is when you edit your schedule, it is not going to appear on the day you're in. So right now, this day on Wednesday, May 29th has already started, so I cannot edit this schedule. If I want to see the changes I just made, I have to go to the next day. Ooh, or maybe even farther than that. Seriously. See how far I have to go. Haha, whoa. So in this case, I had to go to the complete next week. So that's kind of excessive. Typically, you just have to go to the next day. Maybe because I'd already established a schedule when I was practicing with that yesterday. Typically, you just have to go the next day and you're going to see your schedule has changed. But as you see, I had to go all the way to the next week, and it might be because we're in summer months too. So you have to go all the way through that to see, or go to the next day to see that your schedule has changed. The only thing I want to point out, once your schedule is built, is how you add your Teks. I think most everybody knows, but if you're new, you may not know. So it tells you, it says double click the standards on the right to see them here, but right now you don't see any standards here. So you have to double click inside this gray area for your Teks to show up over here. You hit your plus sign, and now they've expanded to where you can see every single one of your grade 7 math Teks. If you want it to appear on that day, if you double click it, it's going to come right over here. Now, if you want to remove it, you can right click it and remove it from that day. So double click to add, right click to remove. And the same thing goes for your class down here. You're going to double click. Now my 8th grade Teks are over here. Double click to add, right click to remove. Super, super easy. The rest of the toolbar at the top is nothing different than a word processor toolbar, except for a few things. Before I show you what they are, I also want to show you that if you are typing up in the body of your text, or if you've not clicked on that day yet, your little attachment isn't going to appear until you actually click in that day. And then you can attach any file that you want to from your computer. So that's good to know, because a lot of times people see the word attachments and it looks almost like it's grayed out. It's not going to appear with the little paper clip until you click on it. This is showing you the one-day view. This is the only other thing I want to show you before we move on to team planners. If you look up at the top right, I was clicking with my arrow to go day to day. Once you have all your plans established, it's easier if you view them a week at a time. I liked viewing mine a week at a time to fill in my lesson plans, especially if I really knew what I was doing and I didn't have a whole lot to fill in. It was easier for me to fill everything in that I needed for that whole week if I was in this view, because then I could remember by glancing what I did the day before without having to do the arrows back and forth. Another thing this allows is copy and paste. Oops. Say copy. See, now I pasted it without the W over here. So you can copy and paste when you're in the week view a whole lot easier day to day than you can if you're in the day view. If you want to change it's going to automatically in everybody's planner do warm-up materials, procedures, and evaluation. You don't have to keep it that way, and I'm sure you know that. You can make that whatever you want it to be. That's just what it automatically puts in there. Now, if you want to print your plans, this is another good way to print them, is when you're in the week view, because you're going to get more on a page than you would if you were to print it just by the individual view. Now, to go from the week view to the day view, double click on the day that you want to enter, and now you're going back to just seeing one day at a time. Cannot think of anything else that you would need to know if you are new to Eduphoria and using Forethought. Everything up at the top is pretty self-explanatory. Oh, it saves automatically. It's just like a Google document. It's going to save. However, if you type something and it makes you feel better to click save, go ahead, because it doesn't save it as quickly as a Google document does. And honestly, just hitting that save button is a good habit to do as well. But it is going to save it automatically, so you don't have to worry about saving after every little thing that you type. But you're more than welcome to use the save tool if you want to. I can't think of anything else for your individual planners. I will come back and explain to you how to use team planners after this. Hey guys, now I'm going to show you how to create a team planner. If you wanted to have a planner that you could share with somebody else who may teach the same subject or grade level as you, I know that kindergarten, first, and second use it because they all teach their own homeroom, and that way they can share their plans with their team teachers, and they're all not having to plan for every subject. So to create a team planner, you're going to create a new team, which is the bottom left-hand side. And it's really easy because it walks you through it. I'm going to call mine 7th ELA. And you can put a description if you want to. So I'm logged in as Jane Doe, but I need to add members. And the best way to add a member is to search by their email. So now you see there's 2 of us here. I'm going to click next, and I'm going to go find the Teks for the subject that we're teaching. You can add multiple courses just like you could with your schedule. It's the same walkthrough process we did earlier. The only difference in this planner and your own planner, I'm going to click on my 7th ELA planner. You can see over to the left-hand side underneath that calendar is my lesson plans. I have quite a few team planners because I've been playing with it. It's not something I used when I taught because I was the only 4th grade math teacher. So it's something I wanted to figure out so I could show you. I clicked on my 7th grade ELA planner. I can't just click on it and type. This is not like a Google document where you can both be editing it at the same time. You have to check out, like you would check out a library book, you have to check out a copy of this to edit it. And in order to do that, you're going to click on this little button that's in the gray bar, check out and edit. So now I can put whatever I want to on this. And then if I click the save button up at the top, it's like I put that library book back on the shelf. So again, I cannot click and edit it anymore. You can add Teks the same way if you have clicked to check it out. So I'm going to come over here, expand my Teks. And then I can add as many as I want to, but the second I hit save, I can't change it again. I can click all day long and it'll highlight text, but I can't change it. The best way I would use a team planner would be to share information, but I would copy the information back to my regular planner. So I'll show you how you can do that. Remember, in the day view, you can't use the copy wizard, but if you go to the week's plans, my copy wizard comes back over here. So I'm not going to walk through this whole process, but I'm going to show you how you can click the copy wizard and click copy to your planner. That's always going to be an option here. You can copy a day, you can copy a week, you can copy it however you want to, and it'll walk you through this process over here where you select the day you want to copy. The only thing you have to make sure of, I'm going to cancel out of it, is your planner has to have the same subject and the same order as your shared planner. So when it copies over, it's not crazy and out of order for you. And that's why I didn't follow through because my planner doesn't match right now because it was the example planner we did earlier. So I think this is everything I can think of that you would need to know in Forethought. If you have any questions, please fill out the Google form and let me know, and I'll try to answer them as quick as I can. This may be the absolute shortest video, but I wanted to go ahead and put this on here for any new employees we have, how we fill out forms or requests for maintenance, for transportation, for technology, and more is all in FormSpace. So I am logged in as Jane Doe again, and I'm going to click on FormSpace. And again, Eduphoria loves to hide your tools at the bottom of the screen. So if you look at the bottom left, you can click Submit New Form. And you are filling out, let's pretend we're filling out a technology request because that'll bounce to me and Debbie. So you could click on technology and technology request form. You have to fill out everything that is on here. So make sure you set the date. Make sure you leave your name, what campus that you're on, what it's in reference to. And I know, and I think I'm speaking for Debbie and myself here, the more description you give, the better. If your projector light bulb is out and we come all the way to you and we don't have a light bulb with us, it's just going to delay it getting fixed. So if you know exactly what you need, put on there what you need. Oh, if I could type better, it'd be great. The more description you give us, the better. Once you filled it out however you want it, you can click Submit Form. I started thinking about it because you have the email option first, and when you click Submit, if you'll look over to the right-hand side, it's going to tell you who it's going to. It's going to notify me and it's going to notify Debbie. So whichever one of us could get to it first, that's who's probably going to handle it. You also have another option, which is email. If it's a technology request, it's going straight to us. It doesn't go to your campus principals. If you wanted to email it to them to let them know, hey, it might have been something in a commons area, not in your classroom, that you took care of. I know, for example, we had a light bulb go out in one of the teachers' bathrooms. If you wanted to go ahead and email that to anybody who's not on this notification list over here, so they kind of have a heads up that you've taken care of that problem, that would be a great idea as well. You can save it for later. You can print it. You can delete it. You can check for spelling. It's pretty self-explanatory. That's why I said this would probably be the shortest video you have. I'm going to go ahead and delete this form. I'm going to show you all the categories we have under general forms. You have our student accident form, and also I'm registered probably still under the elementary. So if you're a high school or middle school teacher, you may have more forms than I do. I've already showed you technology, maintenance. You will use this. Transportation, if it's campus, if it's athletic related. Miscellaneous forms, we have our authorization to conduct a fundraiser in your comp time. And then under travel, you also have the same that you had under transportation. If you have any questions over this, just fill it out in the Google form and I will answer it as quickly as I can. Thanks.